You were not ignored because people are rude. You were not overlooked because they didn't see you. You were overlooked because your presence communicated nothing. That's the uncomfortable truth no one will say to your face. Here's what social psychologists call ambient authority, the invisible signal that some men radiate before they ever speak a single word. It's the reason a man walks into a room and people instinctively turn their heads. It's why certain men command respect without demanding it. And it's why, the moment most men open their mouths, they lose it. Today, you're going to understand the exact psychological mechanics behind this phenomenon. Not theory, not motivation, science, behavior, pattern recognition. And when you're done watching this, you will never enter a room the same way again. Most men have been conditioned to believe that power comes from volume. Speak louder, say more, fill the silence. But here's what social psychology tells us. Every time you speak unnecessarily, you are unconsciously signaling one thing, that you need to be seen. And need is the opposite of power. Research in behavioral psychology shows that people form dominance hierarchies within the first 90 seconds of meeting someone, not based on what you say, based on how you carry stillness, based on whether silence makes you uncomfortable or whether silence seems to serve you. The man who laughs before anyone else, who speaks to fill quiet space, who over-explains himself, that man is spending social currency he doesn't have. Every word is a withdrawal. Every unnecessary sentence is a surrender. And the terrifying part? Most men do this automatically, without awareness, without realizing that they are bleeding authority from every interaction they enter. Here's why this happens at a neurological level. The human brain is a pattern recognition machine. When you enter a space, every person around you is unconsciously running threat assessments. Not danger threats, status threats. Their brain is asking, does this person need my approval? Or do they not need anything from me at all? The man who speaks too quickly, who smiles too broadly, who explains himself before being questioned, he answers that assessment immediately. He needs approval. He is not the apex of this room. But the man who says nothing, who holds eye contact 1 second longer than expected, whose face communicates that he has already decided how he feels about this situation, that man creates a neurological gap, a mystery. And the human brain cannot ignore a mystery. It orbits it. It tries to resolve it. Which means, without speaking a single word, that man has made every other person in the room mentally focused on him. That is ambient authority. And it is a real, documented, reproducible psychological phenomenon. Let me give you the realization that will change how you see every social interaction you've ever had. You were never ignored. You were never disrespected by accident. Every moment someone looked through you, every conversation where you spoke and nobody truly listened, that was information. That was the room telling you something about the signal you were broadcasting. Here is the dark truth about social dynamics. People don't treat you the way you deserve. They treat you the way you signal you expect to be treated. If you move with hesitation, the room reads you as someone who needs permission. If you speak with urgency, the room reads you as someone who is nervous. If you fill every silence with noise, the room reads you as someone who is afraid of themselves. But the man who moves with deliberate slowness, who makes decisions without telegraphing doubt, who holds his ground in silence while everyone else scrambles to fill the air, the room doesn't just notice him. The room quietly reorganizes itself around him. Now that you understand the mechanism, here is what actually changes. The first shift is in how you handle silence. Most men panic when silence falls. They speak, they joke, they break the tension. Stop. Silence is not your enemy. Silence is a tool. The man who is comfortable in silence forces everyone else to become uncomfortable in it, and discomfort creates deference. The second shift is in eye contact, not aggressive, not invasive, measured. Hold eye contact slightly longer than normal during conversations, not threatening, steady. The human brain reads sustained eye contact as confidence, as certainty, as presence. Most people cannot hold it. The ones who can are remembered. The third shift is in your response speed. Stop answering immediately. Not because you don't know the answer, but because the pause itself communicates that your response is worth waiting for. Rushed answers signal reactive thinking. Paused answers signal deliberate authority. These are not tricks. These are the behavioral signals that separate men who are observed from men who are simply present. Here is the full, silent authority framework. Not philosophy. Practice. 1. Enter every room slowly, not dramatically, deliberately. Your pace communicates your psychology. A rushed entrance signals anxiety. A measured entrance signals that you have already decided the room will adapt to you. 2. Speak less than you think you should. Cut your normal output by 40%. Everything you remove becomes mystery. Everything you withhold becomes leverage. 3. Eliminate verbal fillers. No. No like. No you know. These are verbal apologies for taking up space. The moment you speak without apology, the weight of your words changes entirely. 4. React less. The most powerful men in any room are the least reactive. When someone says something provocative, the low-value response is immediate reaction. The high-value response is a pause, a look, and then, if you choose to respond at all, a single, precise sentence. 5. Occupy physical space without aggression. Stillness is not smallness. Sit fully in your chair. Stand with deliberate grounding. Let your body language say, I'm not looking for permission to be here. This is ambient authority. This is the invisible power move, and it cannot be faked, but it absolutely can be learned. You will not remember this video because of what I said. You will remember it because of what you recognized. Because somewhere in this, you already knew. You felt the truth of it in every room where you shrunk, in every conversation where you over-explained, in every silence you rushed to fill. Power was never about volume. It was about stillness in a world that rewards noise. Be the man. The room can't stop watching. Say nothing. Mean everything.